And to kick off this afternoon, we have a very first speaker. He is Mr. Shiv Kataria, Senior Key Expert R&D Siemens. We welcome you, sir. He'll be sharing his invaluable insights on cyber security for critical infrastructure. We welcome you, sir.
Very good afternoon, everyone. Thanks, APAC Network, for accepting my request to swap some sessions to accommodate my train time. Now, I have huge challenge to, first of all, there would be, when you do the sessions in afternoon, uh, the topic that you have planned for the day must have been addressed in some way or the other in the bits and pieces. So I have to concise that discussions which had happened in the morning. And second thing is to bring people back from their wonderful lunch is another challenge. Yeah, so having said that, I will not eat much of the time and then quickly give you a brief introduction on the challenges of securing the critical infrastructures. So since morning, we have seen multiple discussions that has happened on securing IT and OT. And in last few years, we have seen that ransomwares are the biggest challenge that we are facing. So there is this Temple University that keeps tracking the ransomware attacks against critical infrastructures. And in last 10 years, if you see, this number is continuously growing. And what we have been observing is the pandemic period is clearly showing a spike in the numbers, which you can see that in 2019, the number was close to 200, and then it got spiked close to 400. And this was the time when most of the system got connected to the internet, allowing the work from home environment without doing the due risk assessment, and that's where the challenges were. On the other side of the slide, you see the critical infrastructures that are targeted, and government services are the most targeted infrastructure. One of the reason is they cut across multiple sectors. So our Minister of Information Technology and our Prime Minister, they keep on talking about the India stack, which basically provides the data fabric for different entities to come together and provide the services. So far, we have been integrating the public service delivery as well as the UPI payment systems. But then there are smart cities are also there. And once we integrate these smart cities and the underneath physical systems, then they tend to increase a bit over the years. So in this slide, you can see the sophistications of malware has also increased starting from 90s to the recent times. They are getting more and more into the physical space. A report which was published by Gartner in 2021, it says that by 2025, the malware attacks will be actually impacting the public safety. We have already seen some of the examples like the Triton Trisis attack, which happened in 2017. It has attacked the emergency shutdown system of a plant. And when such attacks happens, it are basically going beyond your usual frauds of data theft or maybe shutting down the plant. They are actually hampering your fallback option, which is your emergency shutdown system. So we need to be prepared to address such attacks, which are going towards the safety landscape. This is a slide which shows the picture of the connectivity and the ecosystem. We have the smart city framework where the physical systems are running at the bottom layer. Then we have the connectivity layer, network layer, and different public utility services, and ultimately the intelligence systems which are sitting into the cloud. There are threats across the levels, starting from the physical area to the cloud area. So far, because of the maturity of the technology, there are large number of solutions available in the industry which addresses the IT side of the world. But the physical side of the world is actually having a large number of challenges. So somebody who is addressing the critical infrastructure, he needs to balance the IT security as well as the OT security, where the challenges are to deal with the legacy infrastructure, so deal with the awareness level of the people, and also achieving the security with the system which are intentionally designed to function only on a particular task. Take example of a water purification plant. You don't expect that plant to do something else apart from purification or maybe mixing the chlorine to one of the tank. So in such situation where resource are constrained, if you are putting an additional layer of monitoring or maybe taking some data out, it becomes quite challenging. Another challenge is the IT or OT or the physical layer of the infrastructure. It has a different level of attack methodology. The attackers usually have a bigger lifespan. They will first get into the system and then understand about the system. When they are actually planning the attack, it happens into stage 2. If I give you the example of a well-known attack, Stuxnet, which happened in 2010, it actually was started in 2006 itself. The first stage of the attack started in 2006 itself. For 2 years, they were continuously gathering data about the infrastructure, the nuclear power facility of Iran, and then designed a malware which was so sophisticated that it would be able to run without any intervention. So that's the sophistication. So far, 7 targeted attacks have been seen into the manufacturing or critical infrastructure sector. And Stuxnet was the first one that actually jolted the word that security through obscurity or air-gap systems are not the way we should be addressing our security. Yeah, so keeping these challenges in mind, and then the integration that is happening from the edge to cloud is also giving us another challenge. All the connectivity points, the API security, the edge devices, the IoT devices, they are keep on growing, and there are challenges across the paradigm. So if I give you some figures about the manufacturing sector itself, 61% of the smart factories, they said they have experienced a cybersecurity attack in the previous years. And the 33% of the cyber incidents happened directly on the manufacturing facilities itself. So yesterday there was a news that India just crossed $4 trillion economy, and we have to go 5 trillion or 10 trillion. Manufacturing is the way that India will grow, right? And that's where most of the investment is happening. So when we grow on manufacturing, then we need to take care of the cybersecurity aspect as well, because more and more plants will come up, they will get connected, and that's where the attack will mostly be targeted on. The another figure is 75% of the architectures, they had external connections. This is because of the legacy elements in the physical layers. Very often the people who are running the water purification or the power utility, they have the requirement to keep on running their services. And due to this, they don't focus on the security element, but on the operational element. Sometimes they give remote connections through TeamViewer or maybe AnyDesk kind of application which are insecure by design. And very often I have seen that they are left open for multiple days, and that's where the attacker can gain access to these systems. So over the years, the IoT devices are also increasing, and this is estimated that by 2025, the total number of devices would be close to 41.2 billion. At the same time, the vulnerabilities are also increasing. So and if you multiply the number of devices with the number of vulnerability, there is an increased risk of our infrastructure, and that's where we require strong security control to address these infrastructures. So this is one of the survey that my organization Siemens has done, that there could be 6 different phases of security. And most of the organization today, they fall into phase 1 of the security life cycle or roadmap, which is the awareness phase. And then 30% of them fall into phase 3, which is they would be able to detect what is happening. And then when they realize, okay, I am already insecure, there are already malware binaries in my system, and that's where they realize, oh, this is what I need to fix now. It is only after phase 4 that they actually put a plan and then want to implement something on the security side. But only 10% of the organizations are currently into phase 5 or phase 6. So there are n number of standards also available. Since the morning we have discussed a lot about them, but I'll quickly give you an overview that there are 2 good standards which are available for specifically focusing on the critical infrastructure. IEC 62443 is the one. The standard is basically a gold standard, and it gives you security not for your devices, but it gives security requirements for systems and also security requirement for the people and processes as well. There are additional elements of assessing the maturity of your security program, as well as how do you continuously run the program in terms of patch management and people training. Another one is a power sector specific guideline, which is released by CEA. I think MAKP Singh sir have also spoken about this particular guideline. This is a very wonderful quick starter guideline, and power sectors organizations are the one who should follow, but I found generally these guidelines are very good for other infrastructures as well. Yeah, so moving forward, there would be three different areas that we should focus. People obviously is the critical element, but there could be a debate that if I give just the awareness to the people, specifically in case of critical infrastructure, would this be sufficient to kickstart a cybersecurity program? But that's not the case. If I give you an example of a typical plant who is manufacturing and something, the people's mindset over there is just to focus on the operations, not on security. So even if you give them the training, they would tend to forget that training or the awareness. You need to have very strict processes, and these processes should be followed stringently so that people are aware what to be done. And I have been studying the incident responses by multiple organizations, and one of the key important factor over there is the ability to have clear-cut understanding that who is supposed to do what when the incident is there. So these processes will define the responsibility metrics of the people in the organization and the decisions that they will take. So this understanding is very important for them. There are, again, supply chain issues that needs to be addressed. We have seen bigger attacks like SolarWinds few years ago. But again, in terms of the OT infrastructures, the order time till the time this system get commissioned, there are generally 3 to 4 years of time. And I have seen in 2022 itself, some of the infrastructures, they are using already Windows 8 systems, Windows 10 systems, where they are going out of life itself. So when they are commissioned, that time itself, they were vulnerable. So we need to put these requirements in early stage of projects so that the vendors are complying with these requirements when they are designing the system, when they are commissioning the system, and they are handing over the systems. On the technology side, the space is now taking up. There are already mature technology using AI and ML to detect the threats proactively, and then the OT space is also getting benefited from these mature technologies. Their anomaly detection systems are designed, which works on the passive network detection, and they are helping organizations to detect these threats in early stage of the time. Also, physical security is very, very important. When we are putting the smart city stacks, there could be threat which is available on the physical infrastructure, and somebody who is getting down to water purification facility, they can interject a binary and then could go up to multiple levels of the ecosystems. Yeah, so with this, I end my presentation. This is about the way we are growing in terms of protecting the critical infrastructures and the areas we should focus on. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shiv Kataria, for sharing your insights on cybersecurity for critical infrastructure. Now, I would like to call on stage Mr. Abhijit Agarwal, IAS Managing Director, MPSC DC, to present a small token of appreciation to Mr. Shiv Kataria.